Hi, everybody. How is everyone's day going? It's hot and blazes here. I know that's not news to anybody else in the country, except for if you're like, I don't know. There's nowhere cool in this country or probably in the world today, but it is an opportunity to get inside and read, which is the best. Or at least get prepared for reading tomorrow because it's new comic books tomorrow. And there's a bunch of really cool ones, including big universes releasing and then some big moves and some books that are out there. So please remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss ever any of the reviews or any of the other amazing shows that happen here. And, ring that bell, do some sharing, give some thumbs up and some hearts. You can even send us support in the form of being a supporting member or buying us a sticker or those kinds of crazy cool things that allow you to have super cool symbols on the page when you're making comments. All that stuff helps us. We appreciate it. Just showing up is enough. I will see you guys right back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. I feel like last week was a crazy, crazy week. I had to blow through all those reviews because I did what I could to get them all finished. But literally we did 23 or 24 titles last week. And there were 2 more that I really would have loved to do. But I'm telling you, there were at least 2 books last week that I feel like are going to have long legs and were very, very exciting. And they were both independent books, which makes me super happy. Not that there's anything wrong with all of our other awesome, amazing Soups universe stuff, but just when people are talking about it in social media all the time or the news channels, they've started to talk about with Marvel and DC being so strong, is there room for the indies? And very clearly from the things that were bought in my store today, which included Image Universe stuff, Image Universe stuff, Image Universe stuff, and a bunch of other things, they don't have any problems. There's no problems with the indies. I've got whole gigantic groups now addicted to everything. Doug Wagner and his universe, Ghost Machine, the EU, the Universe of Monsters stuff. There's so much to be excited about out there, y'all. I don't think you guys understand. I'm 30 years in the industry, and there have been times when there's been pieces to be very excited about. But there's never been anything like this, where there's huge, gigantic pockets of comic book reading that just are all so strong. Nothing weak. Very happy. All right, let's talk about what's coming out this week so you guys can get it on your list. And I want to say hi, Barlord, Corey, SF. Who else is on? All right, Solomon Kane. This is interesting because I feel like this character has been around before. I feel like it's an old school character in the same vein as the Phantom or the Spirit or those kinds of things. But this is kind of interesting. And the art is next level beautiful in here. I mean, truly, if you only wanted to buy this book just to enjoy some really spectacular art, you might think about it. So this takes place in, it reads like India to me, but I don't think it's actual India. So think about it in that time. It's not an American set thing at all. Sure, Corey, just talk to me in the next show. It is truly about warring peoples in which someone comes to one of the kings and says, hey, this other guy is truly attacking my my place and just stealing stuff and killing people. And this can't go unanswered because surely when they're done attacking us, they will come after you. In which the good advice that this other king has is like, just have your queen marry them or your princess marry one of them. So you're like, this, you want my really good queen to marry this very bad man. It was like, well, so amongst all of that intrigue and battling and all that stuff, and it is a little bit spicy, this book, just so you know, there's Solomon Kane, who happens to be a Puritan, which is, he's in the wrong part of the world for being a Puritan, but it's kind of like really cool. All of the interplay. Think all the cool stuff that you like about Zorro and all those other things that I mentioned. It feels very fresh and new, not old and kind of rusty. You know, sometimes that you feel like you're reading the same stories that got printed in those old books. This doesn't feel this way. They're doing a really good job of bringing this up to like making it current for us, new readers that may never have touched any of this part of the world. So pointing that sword like, you're the one that I want, right? Yeah, it's kind of like, and you. It would have been even cooler if it's pointed right at you, but maybe it's really hard to draw that kind of perspective, right? This aggression will not stand, man. I mean, I could see them doing a really, really gorgeous job of making some kind of like TV show or movie out of it, even though I'm fine with it always being in the comic book space because that's what I love the most. What do you have some information, Jay, that you know about Solomon Kane?
No, that was just a lame joke I was making because people said it looks like John Travolta.
Maybe a young one, yeah?
That's why I went with the grease line.
It's so funny. If you guys look at just kind of like in the in-betweens of his sword pointing out in the little hilt, there's a guy with a turban on. He wears a lot of mascara. Or he just has really long eyelashes. But he just like, you know when you like, this guy's definitely a bad guy because he's got too much eye kohl on. It is John. Okay, I believe you. I'm going to look it up close. Maybe. But look at this guy. Look at his little like side eye he's giving you. I know I'm pretty. I wax my mustache. Can't change your mind. Okay. All right. It's John Travolta. We're going to say that you're right. Pooh Bear Adventures. These are so cute, y'all. The artist that does the art on these, Tessa Rose, she was at GloppleCon. Adorable person. And the art style is very different than what you're expecting from Pooh. But it's so delightful. And it is just very simple news stories out of the Pooh Bear universe. Every one of them is a standalone story, so you can get any of them and enjoy them. This one's very sweet because it's kind of like it focuses in on, okay, so when my boys were little, we had this Pooh Bear book. There was a large scale like board book that had little opening flaps that would have things on there. And one of the pages was about what tigers like to eat. And one of them was the little door that said thistles. And I was like, thistles? Why would a tiger want to eat thistles? But it's part of his lore. It's actually mentioned in this book where I think at the very beginning, Pooh asked Tigger what he likes to eat. And he's like, everything. But then part of the book is about him saying, nope, I don't like that. I don't like honey. Honey, no, absolutely not honey. He's like, but you said you like everything. So that's cute. And then the book becomes a little bit about Tigger finding his bounce, I guess. So other characters from the Pooh universe are in it. This is perfect for reading just to like chill out to, or read to your kids, or just to collect. Tigger is not a tiger, it's a Tigger. You'll fight on this hill. I think it's accurate. I think he says that, right? I think he's the only one of his kind. Tigger, not a tiger. But Pooh is a bear, because it says Pooh Bear. Okay. Now this one's got me really, really excited. So I hope you guys saw our announcement. We had to hold on to the information for months and months and months. I've known since Comics Pro, and that was in February, that Teenie Howard is coming to our store for Sicko. So it releases this week. They're going to do a big to-do about it at Comic-Con. I'm super excited about it. I hope you guys have been keeping up with the news that Ignition Press has its own pavilion outside the convention in the what's usually called the Omni right across the street. There's a big old gigantic 2 stories worth of stuff that they're going to be doing over there. So pay attention to that. But this is the book that we're celebrating this week. This is Teenie Howard's Sicko. It is not for the faint of heart, and trigger warning about if you have a lot of visits to the doctor, it might freak you out a little bit. I love that one. The wonderful thing about Tiggers, our Tiggers are wonderful things. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, so this main character here, you find out was a medical student before they got sick. The thing that she's up against, they cannot actually figure out what it is at all. They've done a gajillion tests. So she's got this problem where she hasn't been to school in a while. So they're kicking her out of school, which means they're kicking her out of housing. She doesn't have insurance. They won't pay for her expensive treatments they're giving her because there's no code in insurance to say what she's got. So here's the cool thing about it. You actually meet her kind of later on, and then that kind of bumps back and forth into the storyline. It's part of the tagline for the book and stuff, so I'm not telling you anything that's a surprise. So they can't figure out what's making her sick, but she figures out that she can give it away, that she can make other people sick. And the circumstances behind all of that are very interesting and terrifying. And it's a big middle finger to medical things that are frustrating and you can't get past and that you need help with. But I know that you guys have gone to the doctor, right? And you're like, I've got 2 things that need to be taken care of today. I got this thing, growing on my face, and I got, I'm having a heart attack today. And they'll be like, no, sorry, we can only put 1 code in or insurance won't pay for it. But really, I think you should, look at this thing on my face. We'll make you an appointment for tomorrow for the face thing. We'll take care of your heart attack today. Nice. She announced a thing on the show that's not to be announced until this weekend. Let's just say heck was raised and nails will be stuck to my cranium. Hey, listen, if we're good at our job and draw secrets out of people that come and talk to us because they love us and tell us things, then we're doing our job. We can't be in trouble for doing our job. Sorry, Teenie, if we got you in trouble for doing your job. But anyway, we won't tell anyone about the secrets. So anyway, get this book because it'll freak you all the way out. Not for the faint of heart, but really good. Okay. This book, every time there's a Hellfire, I'm going to say Hellfire because it sounds weird as Heckfire. Every time that they do a yearly thing, so the Hellfire Gala is a yearly event. It serves 2 purposes. One, it's a standalone story that's happening during the time period that's in continuity with the main storylines for X-Men, right? So then the second purpose is to draw all the characters in crazy awesome costumes that you might find at the Met Gala, right? So this one has all of the regular players all invited to somebody's house. It's not the normal gathering of minds. The invitation says, don't bother bringing any nice clothes. We're going to give you clothes. Weirdly, a lot of the people's costumes that they give them look like they're S&M, including Scott Summers' very S&M costume. There is some major flirting going on in this, maybe because they've got masks on, they can. But alongside this is not necessarily just that there's a mystery of a murder, in which there is, but the fact that you see people in the crowd that are milling about and making eyeballs at each other, etc., making plans to do murders. Now, are the people that plan to do murders the ones that actually did murder? Probably not. Otherwise, that would be too straightforward. Somebody did one, I think. I mean, in as much as you can actually kill anybody that's a mutant, I guess they always come back. So, I love how you guys are still discussing what was the secret. We're going to have to go back and watch what the secret was so that we know we saw a secret. Clearly, the secret's safe, Kyle. The secret's safe. You can tell Ignition. Nobody knows what it is because we told them that there was a secret and they still don't know what we're talking about. So, anyway, if you love really awesome costume work, and if you ever thought to yourself, hey, I would like to make an S&M version costume of my favorite X character, here's your inspiration. By the way, it's explained that the costumes are made by nanites. Maybe nanites are kinky. I don't know. Ta-da. Okay. Is it a one-shot? They always are. They are always one-shots, except for, I feel like this is very unresolved at the end, but whatever. All right, Godzilla Conquers the Universe. This is a very interesting book. We have 2 Godzilla books this week. One is way more fun. This one is just kind of like they're trying to be serious. So this is a gathering of very specific characters. I'm going to read you the little blurb at the back. So it's hard to explain without giving a lot away. So I'm going to read you the little, it's interesting because this is usually the page that's at the very front of the book, but they put it at the back of the book. You're like, yes, I just read the book, so I know what it's about. Thanks. So it kind of like gets you straight away because this is a through story that has been happening with Godzilla. So it's not just this book, although you can read it and enjoy it. And it does explain the what happened before, but I will tell you what the deal is, okay? Because I want to read it so that it makes sense to you. It says, when Mole Man accidentally awakened a slumbering Godzilla from the core of the earth, Godzilla embarked on a rampage that rebuffed even Earth's mightiest heroes, mutants, and villains' attempts to stop it. The only reprieve to be found was when Mr. Fantastic enacted a plan to jettison the king of the monsters off into space. However, Godzilla's rampage continued anew when the kaiju made contact with Null, god of the symbiotes. Do you guys remember this story now? When Godzilla got symbiote power? Using its symbiotes to ferry Godzilla across the cosmos and point the kaiju at his enemies, Null has succeeded in infecting the world tree with a symbiote godworm and the felling of most of the galaxy's heroes. Now, only Doctor Doom and his assembled team of heroes and villains can stand as the obstacles. So, this is him putting together a group of what he hopes will be combined together to actually do something against the Null Godzilla, which is dope. By the way, I love it when they, I love it when they have Johnny Storm show up and they describe what he needs to be doing. And he does describe it himself as doing a thing, but also looking pretty. Good job, Johnny. You understand your utility. I'm so proud of you. So it's Johnny, the White Queen, Man-Thing, very specific Ghost Rider, of course, Doom, and then Miles, who's like, what's my purpose? You told everybody what their purpose is here. What's mine? And that's kind of like the storyline of what's going on, which is pretty cool. This is a fun read. Even if you don't read much Marvel, Corey, you'll be fine. It tells you enough about each character and what they're doing. All you need to know is White Queen should not be trusted at all. She's always up to something for her own good, no matter what's going on. And then Man-Thing's got really cool powers that you should read this to enjoy. Yep, Muscle Car Robbie Reyes, which I don't know if that's my favorite Ghost Rider. It's probably Cosmic Ghost Rider because he's ridiculous. And I like ridiculous things, but it might be because he's really cool. All right. Gambit Wanted. This one is an interesting book. It is written by Claremont, so it has the earmarks of the cool old good style of X-Men chat. So this is a storyline that appears to be pretty simple, straightforward. There is a girl who I don't know if she's mutant or not named. I was looking to make sure I understand her name. I think it's Eloise. I think that's right. Who Gambit kind of rescues out of this high stakes, dangerous poker game that she's playing. And because of that action, there is a hit put out on Remy. And that's kind of what the back end of the book is about, is the like a good battle between these two characters. By the way, the bad guy character, let's see, you can probably figure out who it is from the symbol that is behind Gambit on the front cover. How's that? That's a really good hint. I'm pretty sure. Can you guys guess what it is? Can you tell whose symbol that is? White Queen sounds like your ex. Hello! Does your ex pretend to be you after you're dead? Because she did that with Scott. Scott was dead, and she pretended to be Scott for a good long time. He died on Muir Island. By the way, the Hellfire Gala will just reinforce your opinion about him from me, in which that guy's a horn dog. Hey, Kenneth, sorry. I'm sorry, Kenneth, that you came on and that was the one thing you heard me say. That's the one thing you heard me say. I apologize. I apologize. Me doing my normal Scott slander. Also, apologize to Gail Simone, who loves him. I apologize. I'm not doing it to spite you, I swear. I've had a long dislike of him. It would be really hard to convince me otherwise. Okay. Terminal. Oh my gosh. So excited about this universe. This was pitched to us in very mysterious terms at Comics Pro. It was a good enough pitch by Kirkman, who's described it as this is his next big superhero universe. And I don't know. None of his superhero universes ever really pan out. Invincible. So maybe this might. This has got a really weird, like, origin story for the characters. And weird, by weird, I mean, you know how you read origin stories for superheroes, you're all like, psh, that's been done. Psh, that's been done. This is truly, truly unique. Very extremely unique. So don't think that you're going to be reading a book that introduces characters that, like, look, here's Bill. He's got the power of stretchiness. Look, here's Sue. Sue's got the power of being tiny. Whatever. So this is like, they're very unique. And at the center of the storyline, there are two kind of like main characters. One of them is see the girl in green right there in the very middle? She's had her abilities for a while when you meet her, but she's looking for her sister. And the purpose is because they know that genetics have a kind of like an aspect to whether someone has any abilities. And it's kind of like, if you guys have ever read Valiant books, you know how the Psiot ability is activated. Like, it either happens naturally at a certain point in your life, or you can meet people like Pete Stanchek, who he is an activator. Like, he can activate you. Even if you don't have a Psiot ability, he can force it in you, which is not great. He is kind of a good guy, bad guy. Depends on who you're talking about on which day. But, so this is them, like, talking about, like, we're going to find her, and then we got to give her a choice. That's the part of the story I don't want to talk about too much about with you guys, because that's really good kind of, like, learning about things. You do meet a lot of the people that are part of the cover here. Not all of them, though. And it kind of leaves you with a good kind of like, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? And I'm so happy because I feel like I picked for our store exclusive some good characters. Because when I picked what was going to be on the cover for ours, I had no idea really what I was doing because I hadn't read it, so don't know who's. I could have picked people that like died on the first page for all I knew. Low key what? Low key stupid that they made cover a connecting cover. No, it looks cool. Wait till you guys understand that thing. The reason why they have the people going from this way, people going from that way. I will just say these will be first appearances for a bunch of important characters. Because I don't know if they had ash cans or any advanced copies of Terminal. I just can't remember ever having any. They might have given us something at Comic-Con. Kyle, do you remember? Did we get a Terminal something at Comic-Con? I mean, at Comics Pro? I have to go back in time. All right. They did several months back. Okay. As long as we had something out there. All right. Giant Size Youngblood. I'm going to plead the fifth, and I don't remember what the original Youngblood #1 was, or even the new original Youngblood that just released. But I will tell you, oh, that's right. There was a 2-piece set. It was both parts of the like group that are like facing each other. I do remember that. Oh, I wish I kept those. I'm gonna go back and see if I still have them somewhere. I don't think I do though. I think I sold them. Blue, oh yeah, blue trade dress. I'm so antsy to get them to people that would love them. I don't ever keep stuff. So I will just tell you, this is a big prestige format book. It looks like the original story in the front half. I'm just guessing because the art style and the storyline resonates as being old storyline, or at least the storyline he just told this year. But the cool thing is that the back half of it is like a whole bunch of like, I think it's special cover art, and that's really pretty. Oh, Kyle's got him. Hit up Kyle. So this is, if you really love Liefeld art, you get to see a ton of it. I know we give him a heck of a time, whether it's because of just the way he presents himself sometimes. You know, he gets to be who he is, and that's fine. But I still have a lot of appreciation for his art. I know everyone gives him a heck about his pouches and feet, but whatever. I can't draw pouches or feet either, so I can't say anything about it. This one's cool. I like his eyes. The way he draws eyes make me crazy. And he does good mouth. Like all of his like open mouth thing. I don't know. Those are always good. All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a Half Shell. Turtle Power. This is actually number 20 of the new story arcs that started this last year. But if you add all together all of the different turtle titles and numbers, we're at issue 300, I guess, is the way that they worked this all out. This is a very cool storyline. Let me get it straight here. So it has characters like Baxter Stockman. Do you guys remember Baxter Stockman? And it's what looks like them trying to protect a box that what you assume has got some kind of super special thing in it, but it ends up being pastries. Oh no. I am warehouse caller, Jen. Thank you. That is accurate. So what's happened in the gathering, actually it's not pastry, it's a cake. It's a birthday cake for the mom. Recently they have had something that's happened in the storyline, and it says where it's just a couple issues before where they bring back mom and they bring back their dad. And the thing that happens that's important in the book is that because of those actions, there's a special character that has been part of their universe for a long time that's asked them very, straightforwardly, can we use it to bring someone back that I love? In which the answer displeases them. It may set up a long-term thing that happens way later. I think it's the thing that sets up Last Ronin. but I'm not certain, and you guys need to read this to back me up to see if it's right. And also, this is some gorgeous art. I don't even know, is this the same person that's been doing the art in it for a while? Because, wow. If I had known that this was the art that was going on in the Turtles right now, I would have been all about it. And then after the main storyline, there is, so it goes, dun, 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 to be continued after it gives you a big, like, da-da moment. And then it's like, every page or two has a little single story where I think the story is a through story, but it changes the art style to like be like here, or we're letting all our friends play in this universe and giving you a bunch of cool art stuff. So, and then it has a whole bunch of pictures at the back that give you all of the cover art for the first, I don't know, do they have 300 books on here? They might have all 300 book covers. That's insane. That's really cool because there's number 1. That's the right one for number 1. That's worth it just for that, to have like that kind of easy access. It's in 2 pages. So consider Turtles. Super awesome fun. Cover art and art, yeah. Okay, so Freddy, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, amazing. Okay, I did not read the first Red Shirt series except for the number 1. And in the number 1 for that series, a bunch of red shirts, which were supposed to be being trained on a planet, they landed them there, and then some kind of catastrophe happened, and they got stuck on the planet, but they thought it was all part of the training exercise. And I don't think at this point, the point of this one was like they're just going to kill everybody. But this one is very interesting. This one follows... I'm going to pop it on and make sure I'm not telling the story from another one. This is more based on Romulan, kind of like sussing out like a spy that's been a plant for a really long time. One of the characters kind of insinuates that the spy has been known for a long time, but they left the spy in place so that they could see if there were any other spies, because they knew that if that spy like to somebody, that guy is also a spy. So it starts up. I would just tell you, I'm not used to Star Trek stuff being so stabby. There's definitely some stabbying in this book. Big time stabbying. You'll be surprised at the amount of stabs and bloods. But the other part follows this group of red shirts that are kind of like, they're on a, it's not a starship, is it? It is a, what is this thing? Station. So it's a big space station that's as far away from Earth as possible. And it looks like how they choose who goes and works on this thing is that they find people that have done a crime, and instead of having them work out like in prison, they say, hey, wouldn't you rather come and serve on this space station? That doesn't seem like a smart thing to like be like, you're criminal. We'll put you in doing something important. So that's what they use their red shirts for. And then it gets more murdery. So much blood. So many bloods. So the Klingon Batleth isn't stabby? Yes, but it turns out that the Romulans, which you remember, they look just like Vulcans, so don't get confused. MDK's all around. I mean, there is a literal scene in there where it's an away shuttle that like it comes back and a guy steps off of it and he says like to one of these red shirts that's like there as you know, like you're not in a prison, but you get to do whatever I say. They're like, here, clean out this thing. I want to be able to eat off it in the morning. And there's like, all it is like bones and guts. Bones, guts, and blood. Come on. Anyway, this is not your mama's Trek. Is it Air to the Sea? Did I get lost? Okay, whew. I was like, man, I got out of order somehow. Tweety Bird taught he saw a Ramadan. Very good. Oh, this one is so much fun. Okay. Have you ever been to Comic-Con? Great. You will understand a great many of the inside jokes, Easter eggs, and etc. in this book. So much fun. Have you not ever been to Comic-Con? Pay attention to this book because it has got so much fun in it. It is a bunch of different stories, including some just single-page stories at the end about Godzilla attacking Comic-Con. I will tell you the one thing that I think is going to get you to buy this book, other than just it's great, like very fun Comic-Con moment, Godzilla attacks. Oh my gosh. What's the one moment that's going to... Okay. There is an actual moment in the book in which they reveal that the government has taken the actual building of Comic-Con and mechanized it. So at some point in this book, you will see Comic-Con, the building, fighting Godzilla. God, it just made you buy this book. Oh my goodness. For half a minute, I thought I was on the cover, but she's got better eyes and bone structure than me. Nope, not me. But this is super fun. This is like the kind of thing you actually take to con. Comic. I can't. How do you say that? Comedic.
I was trying to spell Comecacon.
Comic-Con. Oh, I like that. Isn't there a Godzilla tax ride or something outside of Comic-Con? Maybe this year. They build so much crazy stuff. Never mess with Convention Center bot. Nope. You should not mess with them at all. Every single time they make a new Godzilla book, honestly, I say to myself, they need to slow down. I can't read any more Godzilla. There's just like, this is just too much. And then I read books. There's 2 this week and I like them both. I'm like, never mind. Just keep on making them. Godzilla crushes Hall H during CB's Farewell Speech. I'll tell you another secret. There is an actual Hall H joke in which the people in charge of Comic-Con are like, get everyone out of the convention center. Psh. Except for don't worry about Hall H. They knew what they were risking. Poor Hall H. They waited so long in line. Hey, EJ. All right, now we can do Air to the Sea. This was a surprise, really great read. I have read Dark Knights of Steel, the new #1. The Dark Knights of Steel 2 #1 last week. I think this one actually is supposed to maybe come out first because it actually mentions to read that book, #1, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. This is crazy cool. So I'm sure that you guys have figured out that Dark Knights of Steel is a totally reimagining of all of the DC universe and its characters. Like, did you know that Amanda Waller in this book is actually a positive character? I keep on feeling like at some point she's going to be a bad guy, but the whole book, good guy. Good guy. Or is she? Or is she? So this actually is an origin story for Aquaman. Not Aquaman. Yes, Aquaman. My brain was just like, nope, that's Namor. Aquaman. But the people that adopt him are Ma and Pa Kent. Because in this universe, they are very, very feared warriors. And in this case, they find a baby who's been wedged under a rock and cannot, you're like, well, that kid's dead. That they see at the end of a very big battle. No, you don't need to read it to understand this one book. It would have been helpful to read the number one to understand the series before to understand last week's book. But this one, I will tell you don't need to know anything because it's a standalone story just about those characters. It really is. Amanda Waller and who's the dude she's with? There's another character that she's connected to. And of course, there are other characters like you get to see the Batman and all those other guys, but they're not central to this storyline. This is really good. And also, man, the art in this is just next level gorgeous. There have been a lot of really good books for art this week. But this is a great kind of like, we'll raise him as our own. And they get warned not to let him get near the water because if I'll say king, there is somebody that's sitting on the throne of Atlantis who does not belong there, but is a character that you're familiar with that does live under the water. But all of this is incredible. So, so good. I say it might make you want to go back and get like a graphic novel of the first series because it's so good. I'm happy that DC allows Elseworlds like this to exist. Ariel, no, not Ariel. Okay, this next one is Action Comics 1100. It is a very interesting book. It takes place by way of trying to explain kind of what has happened to Superman. Because you remember at the end of DCKO, when everyone was fighting to try to get all of the Omega energy, and then Superman stepped in to kind of like win, but then also he kind of like released all of it to go back to our superheroes so that Darkseid couldn't get it from one person. And most of the covers on the show have been A's. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. That's why. It is very helpful because the Superman that has been in the Action Comics has been the young Superman. And so he doesn't really know anything about, he has no memory of his upbringing or doesn't even know anything about his origins. So this is Booster Gold, also who was recently kind of like had Darkseid embodied in him. He was like had him like moving him around like a puppet, but he doesn't have that in him anymore. He takes them through time to try to go. I think it's part of the going to try to find where is actual Superman because they believe he's alive. There's just no one knows where he is. So this is that adventure. It's an adventure to try to be like, hey, Superboy, maybe we're going to help you understand a little bit about yourself, but we can't give you any of the spoilers because we don't know if when you find yourself, if it's going to overwrite all of that history. It's kind of like that grandfather, paradox kind of thing. This one's a really big, thick book. It ties into the reign of the Superboys. It has been going on for a while. It does help if you read DCKO, but I think you could probably do fine if you haven't. That's my 2 cents about it. Superman. All right. Absolute Wonder Woman. This is the second part of a series in which I'm going to have to look at her name because I can't remember these goddesses' names. But go, Kyle. Nope, Kyle's just popping on. Whenever I see his name pop up on my side, I'm always like, oh no, what does he need from me? I've done something wrong. Okay, when last we saw Diana, her good friend Barbara Minerva had been captured. And there's another complete being that is the cheetah that is also captured with her. So there's like this whole like, whoa, woe is me, why am I here? This is no cool. So Scylla, Scylla, who is a goddess of Summerdown. It's the one that looks like, has like tentacle body, and then looks like rides a 3-headed dog. So if you know your old Greek myths, you probably know who that is. So it is literally Diana figuring out a way to try to protect her friend, who has quite a bit of a transformation in this book, trying to get it over on this evil goddess that she doesn't like, because there is real danger that is being threatened to Cersei, which is the person who raised her in hell. So she's not about that. So you're going to see some real ramping up of what she's willing to do. The sword gets big like it did whenever she fought the Tetracide in maybe the second book, something like that. Yeah. Thank you. Scylla. Thank you. Well, that makes sense because she's got a lot of things. Also, there's a Manticore in this storyline. And you get to really see how far she's willing to go to protect the one she loves. Daggone, we need a big book. All right. Next is Absolute Superman. In this book series, we have been seeing John ramp up and ramp up and ramp up and see new stuff. But the big long story arc that we've been working on right now is we learned that long ago, some point, my brain's bringing me Ramatut. That's not right, though. Seftat? Is that right? Who is Shazam. Or I think it's the name of the old Black. The dark one. Black Adam, thank you. Was like a prisoner. And they had interactions long ago. Teth Adam, thank you. Man, why can't I remember Teth Adam? That's kind of an easy one to remember. And that kid was a good kid, but unfortunately that kid got stuck away for 3,000 years and given godlike powers. And so he came back super pissed off and has been trying to be like, all of things that are alive should be subject to me and bow down to me. And John, since you were being a big pain, then I'm just going to smack you around. In the last issue, we saw John pick up, I don't know why, every single time I try to remember this guy's name. The guy that has a giant hammer. You guys helped me out last time. Oh.
Talk about John Henry Irons?
Yes. John, it's so easy too. John, his giant hammer. And then also, I forgot what the other, the big flail thing that Hawkman has got. Hawkman's still around and being a pain in the butt. That character has no compunctions about killing and or people in the way getting hurt. Absolute Steel is a welcome surprise. Yeah. Gotta love Absolute Steel. So this is like a full-on battle to the death on the moon. That is as much as I'm going to tell you. Because, I'll tell you this. John is so worried about the outcome of this battle, and he's so willing to give all that he tells Lois, and I'm trying to remember who else is with him. Maybe Jimmy, to a bunch of names and things that they're supposed to memorize. And I'll let you figure out in the book what those names and things are that he makes them memorize as he's getting ready to go to this battle. Stormbreaker's a hammer's name? Is it really? Because that's weird, because the hammer in Marvel's Thor lore is also Stormbreaker.
No, that's Beta Ray Bill's hammer. His is just a kinetic hammer.
Oh, it's just a kinetic hammer. Okay. I like the name Stormbreaker. That one makes me happy. I have one at the store that's like a real metal one that would cleave you in two. People want to touch it all the time. I've got it in a real high thing, and I'm just like, please don't touch it. Maybe it's Stormbreaker. I'm like, it's for your safety. All right, this is hilarious. Okay, did you like the movie Dungeons and Dragons? And if you didn't, why are you not fun? Are you allergic to funny things and fun things? Daggum it. go back and watch it and just have fun. It's supposed to be a fun film. Stop being so serious about your stuff. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons. This is about a small group that is out to go and find a very specific thing. But as they're getting there, they encounter another person that they join to their party. There are tons of dead people at the first battle that they are in, and they find a piece of paper that's basically a glorified treasure map that says, hey, don't let anybody get this piece of paper because I know where this special item that can give people like super major powers is, and I don't want anybody else to know where it is. Well, clearly after this person's dead, the first person that finds that's going to go after whatever it is. So this is about them trying to go and find this place and thing, in which this cover is totally not a lie. You get to see all of these things in the book. There's a bunch of cross and double cross going on. There is gelatinous cube. Wait till you see what happens with this gelatinous cube. Oh my gosh, I want to dress up as a gelatinous cube for Comic-Con this year. It would be so funny because of what happens here. Yeah, all of the things that get stolen or used, it is just like that movie where like no one, don't get me trusted. It just is. This is great. I'm not usually a person that says, woo, Dungeons and Dragons book. Yay. But this is good writing. Because it's been years, so many years since I've played Dungeons and Dragons. I don't remember any of the like classes or powers or what this thing does. But it's so well written that you just know. It's just part of the character. Clearly this thing does that. Okay, good. You think Inigo Montoya needs to make a comeback? Man, I'm not going to bring anything to dress up in this year. The coolest thing I'm going to do is I've made a Absolute Martian Manhunter inspired green and blue suit that I'm going to wear for the blue carpet at the Eisners this year, in which I've already written some key phrases on it in Sharpie, and then I'm going to bring Sharpies and paint pens and let people draw on me. Because why not? No one else is going to do that kind of crazy stuff but me. Oh, is D&D? D&D's a $5 book. $5 book. All right. Thank you, Kenneth. Always, always, always Kenneth's here for us. We're here for you too, man. I appreciate you. All right. That is the end of this show. Now is your opportunity to like take all the stuff that I just told you and contact your local comic shop and tell them, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss this. Put it on my list. Pull it tomorrow morning or whatever. Please, please, please have mercy on me. I was a dummy and didn't watch the FOC show on Friday. Please have mercy on my soul. So call them, send them emails, whatever. Pray to the comic gods, you can get some. Or just join me after this.
Yes.
It's like, or just join me after this.
We have something, since we got a little bit of time. We got something really cool to show off. So I'm going to play this real quick and then we'll end the show.
Ooh, awesome.
I was never a fan of Frank Miller. I don't know why. I'm still not.
You talking about writing or art or both?
Art. Writing I like. Art I didn't really like.
Not even when it was like Wolverine or Daredevil or whatever? Anything
really.
like that? Really?
Not
okay.
really.
Okay. I got you. Tell you this character is named Funny Bones, and Mark literally told me today that this is one of his favorite characters to write. So there's going to be and draw. So there's going to be a lot more of this character coming soon. Mark's Fierce Monsters.
Just a little taste of all the cool things that Kyle does behind the scenes.
By the way, in my next show, I have the rarest terminal collectible. It's already graded by CGC. So I will see you guys in about 4. That was 5, whatever. 4. I'll see you guys in just a minute.